gotta say, this franchise, has always had that special kind of magic, but I know fans are thrilled it's back. Bobby, Now You See Me is one of the few franchises I feel like that can take long breaks between films and still feel relevant. Why do you
Sure.
think audiences keep coming back after all this time?
I think fundamentally because people love magic. I think there is just something about it's two things. People want to be simultaneously fooled, and then they want to know immediately how you did the trick. And that has been part of the secret recipe, I think, of the movies, which is that we give the audience the trick, and then we immediately also fulfill their desire to tell them how we do it. The fun part where we get to play with the audience and they know that we're playing with them is that sometimes we show a trick and we tell them right away. And sometimes we tell a trick and we don't tell them right away because the trick's on them. And it's not just on the other characters. And so we're able to kind of use that. We establish rules and then we break them ourselves to manipulate the audience. And I think that's why. And also, we've never really, by design, yes, there are things that happen in movie one that carry over to two, and there are things or in two that carry over to Now You See Me, Now You Don't, but they're not serialized. And so you don't need to know what happened in one and two to appreciate Now You See Me, Now You Don't. And so because the stories are all self-contained, the setup is, relatively self-evident. Here's a group of people who have special skills. Their skills are magic. It's not about being the strongest. It's not about who can use a gun. It's about being really intelligent. It's about a mastery of this craft and this art that brings people a lot of joy. And so it only takes people a few minutes to, even if they've never seen it, to settle into what the movie's about. And then they're free to enjoy themselves, whether or not they've seen them, whether or not they remember them. And in a way, that allows us to, it frees us up. We're not tied to anything. We don't have to service. Well, we started this storyline, so therefore we have to fix it. As much as we all love, when serialized movies work, when Marvel is on a run or other franchises are on a run, you also see it becomes a burden to those franchises because they have to service the fans in a very direct, linear way, and we don't have to do that. So I think that's part of it, Sean.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone can jump into this film and really enjoy it. That's for sure. Ruben, with such a big ensemble, returning favorites, new faces, how is it decided really who interacts with who, making sure everyone gets that moment to shine? Because I feel like that's a tough job actually, because there's a lot of great cast members in this film.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That honestly is the hardest part, is with so many characters being able to service all their storylines. But I got to give credit to the actors because they know what's best for their characters, and they kept us honest. And if they felt like they weren't being fulfilled or challenged enough, they let us know. And we were constantly working on the script to ensure that everybody had a meaningful part to play, that there was some story to advance, a relationship to cultivate. At the end of the day, I couldn't tell you the plot of most movies. What I remember is the character and their relationships. And we're so lucky to have so many talented actors that audiences really enjoy watching. And it's the combination of the parts where, the sum is greater than the parts, even in our case. And everybody's just a really different flavor. So it's a delicious concoction.
And one thing off of what Ruben's saying that, because you've seen the film, is we also purposely sort of each one of the new characters has sort of a big brother or a big sister that belongs to them, even though they're all part of the same story. So that was also really important, which is like, what are the pairings that are the most interesting? So whether or not it's, Jesse and Dom Sessa or Ariana and Dave or, Isla and whoever. And that was really, really important. And I think helps create this feeling like in real life that when you are, Ruben and I have been doing this a long time. We went from being the kids that were asking mentors for their help, and now we're in a position to mentor other people. And so that was something with this incredible, generous group of actors, they were so into. And they didn't know, Woody, Jesse, Isla, Dave, they didn't know Dom, Ariana, and Justice until we showed up in Budapest. And within a week, it was, life was imitating art. And so that's part of what you see. It comes across in the film.
No, I love hearing that. It's amazing. Ruben, I got to ask you, what makes, Jesse and Woody so great together after all these years still? Like, what is that recipe like? Because it just works every time they're together, and it always happens on regardless of what project they're part of. It's just an interesting duo that works perfectly.
Well, I think it's a classic odd couple dynamic. Like they have such different energies. I mean, I don't think there's a more chill person in the world. And with all due respect to Jesse, I don't know if there's a more anxious person. So when you combine those two energies, there's just a natural kind of odd couple dynamic, which, that was the premise for the relationship in Zombieland. Like you have the world's most afraid person and the world's most badass person, you partner them. But what's been really fun and gratifying is watching their relationships off screen evolve, and because they really are friends and they hang out independent of the movie making. But they're always, I know they respect each other so much. Woody just adores Jesse. And now that, Jesse's evolved to being this great filmmaker, an Academy nominated screenwriter and a great director, I think we all have even more respect for him. So for all of us, life's a journey, but getting to work with friends that you love and trust. I mean, this is Bobby's third time working with both of them, my fourth time working with both of them. If you can find people that you love and respect and who have talent and you can make something that you're proud of together, that's all I think anybody wants out of this, is just to make something that you're proud of and to do it with people you really love. So it's a privilege.
Yeah, I would add, I think there's probably on some level, they kind of are slightly jealous of each other's, the thing that each other don't have, right? I think that Woody wishes sometimes, right, that he could be, have more of that, not more, but I don't know. I think he just admires Jesse's energy. And I think, Jesse, this is why I wish I could be that cool all the time. I mean, Ruben and I had an experience during prep. We were visiting, Woody was in another city, and we went to go visit him, and we were just walking around a food court. I mean, and like 150 people like just walk up to Woody and start chatting with him. He's so comfortable talking to people. He loves people. He loves his fans. He's so generous with them. And I think, if you saw Jesse walk down the street in New York City, he's got his baseball hat on, right? He's walking fast, like I'm a New Yorker, right? He's head down, right? I mean, if people come up to him, he's super friendly. But there's just something about Jesse, that Woody, that's so approachable. And I suspect, like I said, like they look at each other and they kind of wish, like, I could use a cup of that sometime for myself. So, but yeah, they just, it's so much fun. We had a great script, but knowing that you can kind of just turn the camera on, if two of them are in the same shot, there's just something about it. It's whatever that metaphor, it's the jazz musician thing. They know when they're going to say something. They know when someone's going to make a look. So much about comedy. This guy's the best at it. It's not the punchline. It's the reaction to the punchline that makes it funny. And they know that so intuitively in their bones that they'll kind of deviate from the script, and the other one intuitively knows what the reaction needs to be. And so a year later, when you're sitting in the editing room, you're like, okay, we need the great reaction shot. Hopefully we got it. It's like, yeah, it's there. So that's such as for a director and for a producer that's constantly worried of whether or not we got enough material. I sleep. Now I don't sleep that much, but to whatever extent I do sleep, I sleep a little bit easier knowing that.
It's a great partnership, that's for sure. I have to bring this up because I'm a big gamer. I loved Uncharted. I loved the adaptation that you did, Ruben. Is there any updates of you returning for that by chance, or anything you can give on that?
I'm very excited to see where that all leads. I have no developments or updates to offer. I'm not aware of what the next steps for it is. But I'd be excited to return to it if and so that should ever happen.
I just had to ask because I'm a big time gamer and I loved seeing it on the big screen. Everything y'all do together is fantastic. I know we waited a long time for this film. I don't mind waiting just as long, but just don't,
I promise. We promise, right? And obviously doing things like this, more people that show up, please come, because the bigger the opening weekend, the earlier we get to make the movie. So please come.
Thank y'all so much. And until next time.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean. Really appreciate it.